Pakistan cricket is at its lowest ebb possibly ever. Over the last couple of years, they've lost their last six successive test matches. They're losing series to Bangladesh at home. They've been wiped out, scored 823 runs against England. Off the field, the situation hasn't been much better for some time now either. Here are five questions that we think are the most important to answer. On the surface, dropping your best batter, the guy who's been among the best batters in the modern game across all formats for pretty much the last 4 years, dropping him one test into the middle of a very important series, just seems like a reactionary move, like a move of some panic. And in a way it is. I think after the loss in that first test, after conceding that many runs, 820 runs, and only scoring 220 in your second innings, I think I can understand the need for drastic change. And Babar, I think, is a big enough name for the team to drop. But I also think, forget his reasons of form and the batting and the runs that he's made, I do think that Babar needed a bit of a break from the game. He's been going non-stop. He's been captain in all formats. He's been going non-stop for 4 years, played across the world. And I just think he needs a little bit of time to kind of reflect and refocus and gather himself again and come back. There's not a huge amount of depth of talent, which is one of the worries with Pakistan cricket at the moment coming through, but it's not as bad as has been made out. With the spinners, of course, people will look at the recall of guys like Sajid Khan and Noman Ali and think, are there no more spinners there once you get rid of Babar and stuff? But I think what Pakistan have hesitated to do is to go really hard with fresh talent. They've got a couple of spinners in Mehran Mumtaz and Faisal Akram who are making, a bit of a name for themselves on the domestic circuit. They've played some cricket now with Pakistan Shaheens and kind of impressed there. So there is a little bit coming through, but it is true that over the last few years, especially in the spinning department, they've been found wanting. There are no kind of options. There haven't been any since Yasir Shah retired. In the Pacers, I think there is some depth of talent, but Pakistan are also currently in the middle of a monumental injury crisis as far as their Pacers are concerned. As well as Shaheen and Naseem both wanting to be rested, and Naseem having a bit of a niggle. There's at least 6 or 7 fast bowlers behind them who are injured, who have been injured for the last few months, and are not anywhere closer to coming back. So I think that kind of masks the fact that there is some depth there, but it's just that they're injured at the moment. Pakistani pitches are among the toughest in the world right now for any kind of bowling, whether you're pace, right arm, medium pace, left arm, very quick, spin, leg spin, right arm off spin, slow left arm spin, whatever kind of bowler you are, Pakistani pitches have been among the worst. In fact, if not the worst in the world for you. So, that is clearly a problem. I think it is a historical problem that Pakistan have had. They've only ever really had a couple of phases where they've had decent pitches. They had a couple of decent pitches in 2020, 21 when they were playing against South Africa and Sri Lanka at home, but by and large, they've been flat pitches. I think it's a combination of the conservatism within the board and the team in general, as well as maybe the capacity of groundsmen. It's also a factor of not having enough grounds to have played cricket on. There was a massive gap when there was no cricket played in Pakistan for 10 years. All these things have combined to make these pitches among the worst pitches. I think we saw that last week with Multan, where they conceded 823 runs. They have been among the worst pitches in the world for fast bowlers, and it doesn't look like that's changing anytime soon. The mother of all these problems, of course, is the off-field chaos that Pakistan have been going through. They've had 4 heads of the board, 20 plus selectors, about 8 head coaches, multiple batting coaches and bowling coaches over the last 3 years, I think 3 or 4 years. So, it's a lot of off-the-field instability, and that directly feeds into everything we're seeing on the field. There was a time until Wasim Khan and Ehsan Mani were in charge that things had kind of reached some sort of stability, but I think since then it's been in free fall. It's become a power struggle between political parties, and the only clear thing that we can see from these 3 or 4 years of administrative turmoil has been that Pakistan cricket has been hitting rock bottom. They're the bottom of the World Test Championship table. They're not a board that is especially good at organizing tournaments. They have a crowded domestic calendar, and too many people have come in charge. That's what's got to stop. before I think you can see any improvement on the field. So the first thing I think Pakistan need to identify on the field is how they want to play, especially how they want to play at home. I think one of the things that has been most apparent over the last few years is that they've had no idea how they want to go about winning a test match at home. They started this season against Bangladesh wanting to be all gung-ho about having pace bowlers and picking a side that had all pace bowlers and no spinners. 3 tests into the season, we're now at a point where there's 4 spinners and barely a seamer in their side, and they're trying to play on a pitch that has already been used 3 days ago for another test match. So they have no clear idea of how they want to play. I think they need to assess their depth of talent. They need to assess their current resources, and they need to figure out that this is the way we're going to play going ahead. That's something that's going to take them out of the rut that they're in. But like I said earlier, I think the thing that they need most is for some off-the-field stability. They need to have a period of 2 years, 3 years where they don't have a constant change in board heads, they don't have a change in selectors, they don't have a change of coach, and they have a domestic system that actually stays the same for more than one season in a row.